At 21, I left a fancy consulting job to open up a gym. I was raised by a single dad. Growing up, I did well in school. I got into a good college. I took a government contracting job that I actually ended up hating, mostly so I wouldn't disappoint him. But in doing so, I created a life I hated, where I didn't want to wake up the next day because I was living my dad's dream life for me rather than my own. The hardest thing I've ever done was quitting my job, driving to California, and starting my business. Not because of the risk, but because of my fear of disappointing him, which was significantly scarier to me than actually failing myself. So I didn't even call him until I was out of the state, halfway across the country, because I knew that he would convince me to stay and I would listen, and he already had multiple times. For years after that, my dad and I had a lot of tension in our relationship, and I found myself setting goals to achieve beyond what he had achieved, not because I wanted to beat him, but because I wanted to have some irrefutable proof that I thought would make it beyond reproach that he would be proud of. But I realized I was still trying to seek out his approval, which meant that I was still trying to play a game that was not of my own making. 5 years later, my dad and I had a good conversation, we buried the hatchet, and we've been good since. And today, looking back, as much as I've, quote, achieved, I think what my dad achieved was actually still greater because he started at a lower position. Like, he came with $1,000 and couldn't speak English, and he created the life that I had as a result. And so I think a lot of times going from zero to that is even more impressive than going from stable household, good education to where I've been. And so in that way, it's not a competition of who beats whom. It's just both of us trying to do the best we could with what we had.